Hello everyone, Joel here. Today we are diving deep into 15 open world games that aren't just great, they are absolute undeniable masterpieces. We aren't treating this like an arbitrary countdown contest today. Instead, we are looking at 15 distinct worlds that completely redefine player freedom, why their mechanics feel incredible in your hands, and what makes each one legendary.
Hello? Dr. Earnhardt?
If you've ever dreamed of burning down illicit herbal crops with a flamethrower while Skrillex blasts in your ears, welcome to tropical paradise. Liberating pirate outposts by sneaking through dense jungle foliage with a recurved bow builds incredible tension before exploding into chaotic AK-47 gunfights against hostile honey badgers. The iconic villain Vaas basically taught gamers the literal definition of insanity, setting the gold standard for antagonists. Objectively speaking, quick-time event boss battles feel dated today, and narrative momentum trips after Vaas exits. Still, hunting sharks to craft bigger wallets established the modern open-world shooter blueprint, solidifying its legendary masterpiece status. Trading tropical sunshine for rainy, neon-drenched concrete brings us into the ultimate Dark Knight fantasy. Gliding across the Gotham skyline feels like pure cinematic ecstasy. The rhythm-based free-flow combat is a bone-crunching ballet where chaining counters and explosive gadget takedowns makes you feel like an apex predator. Plus, the community joke of summoning a literal tank just to even the odds never gets old. Objectively, the game forces Batmobile drone battles too frequently, occasionally turning a stealth masterpiece into an arcade vehicular shooter, and finding 200 Riddler trophies is psychological torture. Yet, its jaw-dropping atmospheric density remains an immortal, gorgeous achievement. Swapping a brooding billionaire for a broke kid from Queens, web-swinging through New York City is pure kinetic joy. Combining classic swinging with deployable web wings lets you catch wind drafts and rocket between skyscrapers with buttery fluidity. Combat feels delightfully heavy, especially when Peter dons the symbiote suit to bully enemies with 19 inches of aggressive black tentacles. Following its PC release, even more players are experiencing this comic roller coaster at super slick frame rates. Objectively, open-world crime stopping can get repetitive after the 30th alleyway brawl, and side quests end slightly fast. Regardless, swapping between Peter and Miles creates an exhilarating superhero masterpiece. Diving straight from city skyscrapers into Caribbean sea breezes proves the best way to play a historical assassin is ignoring the creed entirely. The naval mechanics feel genuinely godlike. Feeling ocean waves heave your brigantine while lining up devastating broadside cannon barrages delivers unmatched adrenaline. Edward Kenway's rogue-to-hero journey exudes chaotic charm. On the critic side, mandatory stealth-tailing missions where you awkwardly stalk slow-walking guards are still objectively tedious, and first-person corporate office segments disrupt the pirate immersion. Still, this high-seas swashbuckling sandbox remains an untouchable masterpiece of maritime freedom. Leaving the ocean for 1950s tunes echoing across a radioactive wasteland, this is where you happily ignore your missing infant son to spend 40 hours hoarding desk fans for duct tape adhesive. The gunplay mechanics feel remarkably snappy, making laser blasts and VATS slow-motion executions deeply satisfying. Stepping inside modular power armor actually feels like piloting a clanking mechanical suit rather than just changing pants. Thanks to the massive live-action TV show hype and recent next-gen updates, exploring the Commonwealth feels livelier than ever. Objectively, the 4-button dialogue wheel limits deep RPG choices, but environmental storytelling makes this an addictive post-apocalyptic triumph. Before we go into the list, I want to give you my recommendation for some of the best deals in instant gaming right now, especially if you're tight on budget. We knew that instant gaming always give us so many crazy deals for your favorite games, like these titles for example. I mean, can you believe these prices? If you love RPGs, there's no way you never heard of these masterpieces, and to think that you can get them under $10 or even $5, it's an absolute steal. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list.
Raiders. Damn it, I should have been watching for 'em.
Pivoting from radioactive ghouls to overwhelming swarms of infected freakers brings us into rugged Pacific Northwest wilderness. Playing as biker Deacon St. John, a guy who loves yelling at his own radio, delivers an exceptionally tense survival loop. Motorcycle mechanics carry heavy physical weight, forcing careful steering while managing fuel and scrap metal repairs. The real mechanical hook is fighting 500 body hordes, requiring clever traps, stamina management, and desperate sprinting. Objectively, the opening hours suffer from slow pacing and dialogue occasionally hits B-movie cheese territory. However, once your arsenal expands, it transforms into an intensely gripping, rewarding cult classic masterpiece.
What do you mean? It's not that bad.
Well, if it hadn't been for me.
Stepping out of modern survival into uncompromising medieval realism, this incredible sequel takes 15th century Bohemia and cranks immersion to maximum levels. Playing as Henry, who evolved from an awkward peasant into a seasoned medieval knight, feels remarkably satisfying. First-person directional swordplay is weighty and tactical, demanding real historical pairing stances rather than mindless button mashing. The living world reacts to everything, including whether you washed mud off your tunic before greeting nobles. Objectively, the strict savior schnapp save system feels unforgiving, and deep survival friction isn't for casual weekend gamers. Yet for purists, this living historical simulator is an absolute masterpiece. Trading broadswords for stolen supercars and automatic rifles drops us into satirical madness, with the gaming world collectively holding its breath for GTA 6 launching later this year. Los Santos remains a masterclass in sandbox design. Driving mechanics strike a perfect simulation arcade balance where weaving through freeway traffic feels instantly rewarding. Furthermore, switching between three chaotic protagonists mid-heist gives gameplay a thrilling, unmatched cinematic tempo. Objectively, the online economy feels grind-heavy with flying rocket bikes, and main missions enforce rigid failure boundaries if you deviate from scripted paths. Even so, its massive cultural impact makes Los Santos an untouchable gaming legend. Launching from Los Santos asphalt to floating Hyrule Sky Islands hands players a godlike sandbox physics engine. Ultra Hand and Recall building mechanics grant mind-boggling creative freedom, gluing rockets, wheels, and logs together to construct bizarre war machines or accidental Korok catapults is endlessly amusing. Vertical exploration, skydiving from cloud ruins, diving through surface chasms, and plunging into pitch-black underground depths flows seamlessly. Objectively, scrolling through horizontal single-file menus just to attach items to arrows gets clunky in combat, and subterranean landscapes visually blur together over massive playtimes. Nevertheless, as a celebration of pure player curiosity, it stands as a mechanical masterpiece.
Oh.
Grab your shields because yes, you're finally awake. No open-world discussion works without the fantasy titan that defined modern wanderlust. Exploration mechanics flow with organic freedom. Delivering a simple letter easily turns into a 3-hour spelunking expedition fighting Draugr death lords inside ancient Nordic tombs. Whether casting dual fireballs or inevitably relapsing into a stealth archer build, wandering snowy pine forests while Jeremy Soul's ambient music plays feels magical. Objectively, vanilla melee combat feels floaty like swinging pool noodles at potatoes, and quirky physics bugs are permanent fixtures. Yet fueled by endless modding tools, Skyrim remains an immortal fantasy masterpiece.
Hey, you need horses?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mr. Smith.
Saddling up from snowy mountains to dusty frontier plains delivers a world so alive you can smell campfire smoke and hear Dutch insist he has a plan daily. Gameplay mechanics are deliberately heavy and grounded, whether cleaning revolvers, feeling Arthur Morgan trudging through thick mud, or triggering dead-eye slow-motion shootouts, every movement carries weighty realism. Dynamic wildlife ecosystems and town folk remembering past saloon brawls create unmatched immersion. Objectively, rigid mission design severely restricts creative freedom by failing you if you step off scripted trails, and looting animations take realistic time. Still, this emotional Western saga is a breathtaking interactive masterpiece.
Let's see if he can hear us.
Fast-forwarding from the Wild West into neon-drenched sci-fi streets brings us to Night City. Following massive mechanical overhauls and the stellar Phantom Liberty expansion, this dark future completed one of gaming's greatest comebacks. FPS combat feels razor-sharp. Hacking cyber optics through security cameras, double-jumping over traffic, or deflecting bullets with a thermal katana delivers pure high-octane anime thrill. Vertical architectural scale creates breathtaking visual immersion. Objectively, life path choices at character creation don't radically alter core storyline paths as heavily as originally promised, and vehicle steering occasionally feels overly slick. Regardless, this mature cyberpunk RPG playground is a definitive masterpiece.
Nilfgaardian rule to your liking?
What's there to like? 'Tis the same as any other.
Stepping back into gritty dark fantasy sets the absolute gold standard for quest writing. Playing as Geralt of Rivia, even a simple contract to clear cellar rats unravels into a heartbreaking morally complex mystery involving cursed lovers. Combat flows with rhythmic precision, dodging griffin swipes, applying specialized blade oils, and blasting enemies with igni-fire spells makes monster hunting feel professional. Thanks to official Red Kit modding tools keeping the community thriving, the continent is healthier than ever. Objectively, Geralt's indoor movement occasionally feels clunky, and inventory sorting gets tedious, yet masterclass storytelling makes this an iconic RPG masterpiece.
Giving me no choice.
As a child, I dreamed of becoming a samurai. Now I'm...
Crossing from European folklore to windswept feudal Japan transforms open-world exploration into visual poetry. Instead of staring at cluttered mini-maps, gusting wind, golden birds, and curious foxes naturally guide you toward hidden hot springs and bamboo sanctuaries. Stance-switching katana combat is razor-sharp, perfectly timing parries and executing tense cinematic standoffs against Mongol invaders makes you feel like an Akira Kurosawa samurai hero. Composing haikus under cherry blossoms provides wonderful pacing contrast. Objectively, beneath gorgeous art direction, clearing enemy encampments follows familiar open-world checklist structures. However, phenomenal blade combat and breathtaking audiovisual presentation elevate this into an atmospheric masterpiece. Wrapping up in a realm of uncompromising challenge, diving into the fog of the lands between treats player intelligence with absolute respect. With zero hand-holding map markers, spotting weird towers on the horizon, and battling through poison swamps just to see what's inside delivers pure discovery thrill. Combat demands precise dodge rolling, strict stamina management, and weapon skill mastery, making boss victories after 20 attempts deeply gratifying, especially across the punishing shadow of the Earth-3 expansion. Objectively, obscure questlines practically require community wikis to avoid breaking NPC storylines, and endgame difficulty spikes brutally hard. Even so, this monumental fantasy sandbox is an undeniable masterpiece.